shock on the back. So, maximum high and low speed compression.
My name's Guy Kestervan. I've been a professional bike and kit tester for nearly 25 years. And the bike I've been riding for the past month or so is Saracen's brand new Ariel 60 Elite. So, as well as a completely brand new range of bikes, including the Ariel 30, 60 and 80, 130, 160 and 180mm bikes, and a 150mm e-bike, the other big news with Saracen is that they've gone direct sales. So, while their bikes have always been known for good value, they're really knocking it out of the park for this season. So, the range starts at 2.5, then goes to 3.3, and this Elite with full Fox factory fork and shock, XT stop and go, carbon race face bar, DT Swiss rims, Maxxis tyres, looks an absolute bargain on paper, even compared to, you know, other brands like Bird. I mean, to be fair, it's hard to do comparisons with the German online stuff because most of them at this price point are already using a carbon frame. And this TRL linkage is basically an evolution of the one that's been used by Saracen team riders like Matt Walker and Danny Hart to a very impressive effect on the World Cup downhill circuit. Proper top results on this system. And Matt has actually been riding development mules for this bike for a couple of years to get it dialed in. And on this Elite model you get full factory 38 on the front and then DH X2 coil shock on the back, so maximum high and low speed compression, adjustability and control, you know, some of the best in the world. And all the frames are fully alloy now. Used to get carbon back end on the Ariel bikes, so they're heavier, but even though the pivots are pretty narrow and the linkages are a bit loose when you pull the back end apart, it actually all ties together really well, really stiff on the trail. And while all the other bikes and the 60X frame set, which costs 1,500 quid, come with an air shock, this Elite comes with full DH X2 Fox coil for extra authority, and you can get an SLS lightweight spring for full enduro pose value. But with a 450 pound spring in this large, it is definitely on the sturdy side. And actually I've ended up doing a lot of the testing with a 400 and a 350 spring swapped in. Right, following the master now, and while 64.5 degree head angle and 76.5 degree seat angle are kind of half of the course for enduro now, this large is proper long, 507mm reach I've measured it at, and it's also pretty tall, 355 BB height unstacked, so it can feel a little unwieldy in some situations. And interestingly, while the Ariel 80 has 27.5-inch wheels and 20mm more travel, that's actually 10mm lower in the BB height, and it's shorter in reach as well. So, you know, they've definitely gone for the straight line pedal through anything vibe with this Ariel 60, and well, that's what it is, you know, whether you like it or not is up to you. That super solid alloy frame, that 2.3 kilo fork and that heavy coil shock all make it a proper beast in terms of weight. So while it's super solid and an anvil on the trail, it also feels like a super solid anvil when you're trying to hustle it on the flat, as well as the weight. While it's great to have all the grip from these super sticky max grip DHRs front and rear. The fact that they're just Exo carcass, not even Exo Plus, seems a bit weird on a bike that's got a coil shock and the geometry's been an absolute straight line hammer machine. Although I'm glad they haven't fitted fin pads for the XD brakes, because I'm really not missing the rattle you normally get with them. So a really nice feature that they include the linkages for you to turn it mullet as well if you want, which the small and medium bikes come mullet anyway. But you might have to look around to find a Super Boost wheel that will fit. Even the sizing means I'd be better off with a medium, because the medium has a much shorter seat tube and still has a reach of 485. Off to spring also makes that really high 355mm bottom bracket less of an issue, because it squats the bike down more, gets it a bit more stable and more centralised. So there you go, that's the Saracen Ariel 60 Elite. Definitely a heavy duty bike that's best suited to heavy duty straight line riders, but they're definitely going to change the tyres as well on that. And, you know, definitely look at the sizing. Like I say, I should probably have sized down to a medium. You know, that would have given me a more agile bike, hopefully with a better shock rate as well. But, you know, in terms of kit and in terms of solidity, you cannot fault this bike, you know, for the money. Now they've gone direct, the amount of kit you're getting on that bike is seriously impressive. Although, again, I'd argue that the Pro, which comes with an air shock and Performance Elite gear, is actually probably the better practical on-trail value at just 3,300. Anyway, massive thanks to Saracen for sending the bike in for test. Thank you very much for Giro for sponsoring the edits. I'm wearing a Tyrant helmet, ambient jacket, Havoc pants and Ventana fast-lace shoes. And also Crud, as always, for supporting the channel and keeping my lens as clear as possible. But yeah, there it is, Ariel 60 Elite. Great to have another British designed, hard hitting gravity option. And I have to say, I bloody love the colour of this bike. They've got that absolutely dialed. Make sure you watch the Tech Talk as well, where I talk about more of the detail and get up close with some of the fixtures and fittings on the bike, talk about the Super Boost, talk about the way you can turn it mullet, all of those kind of details. I've been Guy Kestevan on Guy Kes TV, talking about the Saracen Ariel 60 Elite.